Coming up, hours of downpour left many commuters stranded Monday morning.
Parliament to approved contract agreement for electrification projects.
Côte d'Ivoire declares 3 days of national mourning. Thank you for selecting GBC24. Time to bring you News Hour. My name is Gifty Eji.
And my name is Akpene Avo Ajaja. Many thanks for joining us. Robert Frimpomans is also here. He will do the sign language translation of the news.
Well, it was a day the rains came down and the waters advanced across parts of the city of Accra, leaving some places sodden. The city's flood-prone areas were not beleaguered, and the Odo River is still has not broken its banks.
Hours of downpour on Monday morning left many commuters stranded and once more exposed the weakness in the city's drainage system.
Accra recorded its first rain this year on the 1st of March. Since then, there has been intermittent rains. However, the 14th March morning rains can easily pass as the heaviest in Accra in 2016. Though the rains slowed down movement of people and vehicles, it did not leave in its trail any traces of destruction, as was seen in the June 30th disaster in 2015. A visit to some of the flood-prone areas in Accra showed that economic activities have been disrupted, but vehicular traffic was not all that bad, especially at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. At construction site at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, the water level was so low that vehicles supplying the interchange and other suburbs could move through with ease. However, the story of the team's next port of call was different. The Dona River that passes between the Circle Kaneshi station and the New Plant station was full to the brim, even though it did not pose a threat to commuters and vehicles operating in the area. Thereafter, the news team proceeded to Bechebi Lamte Circle. Here too, though vehicles were passing through and around the circle with ease, volumes of water must have passed through there at the peak of the rains last night. At Kaneshi, a flood-prone area, GBC24 did not see the usual spectacle of flooding that often impede both vehicular and pedestrian movement. The reach of Monday's rain is far, but the intensity might not be heavy compared with the June 3rd disaster that hit the capital last year. Yet, it has exposed some of the weaknesses in the drainage system in Accra.
And still in the capital, Ghanaians have been advised to be preventative rather than reactive. This is to ensure that people are prepared for any eventuality and are able to deal with such situations. These sentiments were shared by the Minister for the Interior, Prosper Barney, when he led a team of officials on a tour of parts of Accra prone to flooding.
Perennial flooding has been the bane of city authorities for years. Population growth, indiscriminate disposal of refuse, and inadequate disposal facilities are some of the factors which have contributed to this problem. It is with this in mind that the Interior Minister, Prosper Barney, with officials of the National Disaster Management Organization, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the Ghana National Fire Service, visited some flood-prone areas in the capital to ascertain the preparedness of these communities. The team visited Odona, Kaneshi, Dakuman Junction, and finally Kole Lagoon to acquaint themselves with progress made on the dredging of the lagoon. Mr. Prosper Barney assured the public of government's commitment to ensuring the safety of residents in the capital.
Government has taken the major step to ensure that all the drains are clean and that the culverts are protected in a way that should we have any major rains, which for me today is an indication that we may have major rains, will be able to prevent the kind of floodings that will cause destruction of property and loss of life.
Captain Khan is the project director of Dredge Masters and explained the scope of dredging of the Kole Lagoon.
First aim is to prevent immediate Immediate aim is to prevent flood happening from now. And broad aim is to complete the project so that it never happens again.
The dredging of the lagoon is expected to provide passage for the water to flow freely into the sea and prevent flooding in the capital.
Let's head to the courts now. And British fugitive David McDermott, arrested in the country last week, has been remanded in custody to enable the police conduct further investigations. Mr. McDermott is expected to reappear in court on the 30th of this month. A Radio Ghana report revealed that he did not have legal representation and pleaded not guilty to dealing in prohibited business related to narcotics. He has been described as one of Britain's most wanted fugitives for his involvement in narcotics. The prosecutor, Deputy Superintendent of Police, DSP Abraham Ano, said in 2014, the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, received information about the accused person's illegal activities. Surveillance was then mounted on him, and on the 11th of this month, he was arrested at his hideout at Cheado residential area behind the trade fair in Accra. DSP Ano said investigations conducted so far indicate that he operates a gold mining company in the eastern region. The prosecutor also said the accused had in the past 3 years been traveling in and out of the country on a Ghanaian passport.
We now cross over to the central region, where the chiefs and people of Ayin-Suakon in the central region are appealing to the government to quicken construction work on the footbridge spanning the Ayin-Su River as the rainy season approaches. The bridge plays an important link, especially in agricultural activities in the area, providing a solid platform for pupils to cross safely to school.
Ayin-Suakon is a small community in the Wutu-Efutu Senior district of the central region with a population of over 400. The main occupation of the people is cocoa farming. The name Ayin-Suakon derives from two rivers, namely Ayin-Su and Akon. The people rely on water from these two rivers for commercial and domestic use. During the dry season, there's a drastic drop in the level of water in both rivers. In the rainy season, water in the two rivers rises in volume and overflows their banks and disrupts agricultural and school activities. This is the only footbridge here, built with bamboo. It is almost useless during the rainy season.
Who cannot use the river back there, they are able to use this one. It's not easy at all.
The chief of the community, Nai Kofi Enchi, who is also a member of the Wutu Traditional Council, said work on the bridge has finally begun after several petitions were sent to the authorities. The news team spotted some surveyors carrying out feasibility studies on the bridge. This was a source of hope for the community. GBC24 interacted with some elders in the community.
It's getting to a rainy season. When it gets to a rainy season, we suffered a lot because mostly our foodstuffs is at the back of the river. So anytime it rains, the river comes into its own banks. So we appeal to the MP to force for us so that by June, July, they should have able to complete the bridge for us.
We are appealing to government to construct a temporary bridge whilst measures are put in place to construct a permanent one.
They also made an appeal to the government to help renovate their primary school, which is in a deplorable state. It is their wish that the primary school would be turned into a vocational institution to turn out graduates with employable skills. Mr. Anthony Arthur is the headmaster of the school.
We have so many problems facing the school. One of the problems is on the feeding program. Though we have so many programs, but this is the peculiar one that we, the community, wants government to do it for us.
On a daily basis, women in Ayenswako wash at the riverbank while the children bathe in it. Others also fetch the water here for household chores. There are 4 malfunctioning standpipes in the community which have become a white elephant. But people also appeal to the relevant authorities to have the taps connected to a potable water source to prevent the inhabitants from contracting waterborne diseases.
The Eastern Regional Police Commander, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ambutoge Awuni, has died. He died at the police hospital in Accra after a short illness. He was recently transferred to the Eastern region. Before then, he had been heading the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. We'll be back shortly with more news. Do stay.
Hello, good evening, and good to have you join us for some business updates. I am Dorothy Ajamai. The African Union Commission and the NEPAD Planning and Coordinating Urgency Conference on the Comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program Conference in Accra has ended with a resolve to help farmers utilize new technology to increase their yield. In a communique, the AUC says it will deploy permanent secretariat to start the implementation of effective programs at the national levels, eradicate or reduce drastically hunger and poverty on the continent.
The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program is an African-led initiative meant to improve food security and boost agricultural productivity in mainly farming-based economies. The drive is to raise agricultural productivity by at least 6% per year and increase public investment in agriculture to 10% of national budgets. CAADP identifies 4 key pillars for food security improvement and agricultural investment in sustainable land and water management, market access, food supply, and hunger agricultural research. The Accra conference was to reflect on thematic, policy, and institutional factors and issues presenting either opportunities or challenges to delivering the Malabo commitment. After the conference, members agreed on a 10-point communique, which among other things indicated that there should be more public expenditure allocation to agriculture to improve food security and reduce poverty. They also agreed that there should be a deliberate effort to create awareness about CAADP among smallholders. The Minister for Food and Agriculture for Ghana, Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna, called for robust introduction of technology to increase food security. The Director of Rural Economy and Agriculture at the African Union Commission, Dr. Janet Edeme, charged the permanent secretaries to implement the outcome of the Accra conference.
We are beginning to institutionalize it as a forum where we bring together our PSCs from the Ministry of Agriculture for us to be able to share with them our continental agenda, the processes we are putting in place, and the support that will be made available to facilitate the implementation of the agricultural-related decisions at country level.
Some participants shared their thoughts with GBC24.
We are here with the permanent secretaries to actually strategize on how we can accelerate that agenda with our member states.
Even though the AU has this comprehensive, the CADEP program, people need to feel it on the ground. And that's why the CADEP country team is there to ensure that they begin implementing what the AU has provided.
The next conference of the African Union Commission will come off in Accra in April 2016 to review the progress of the Malabo Declaration.
Nestle Ghana has rewarded its distributors and wholesalers at a ceremony in Accra. The aim is to recognize their loyalty and contribution to the company's success in 2015. Thomket Company was adjudged the national best distributor of Nestle products, while Diamond Enterprise took the best national highest turnover award.
Nestle is a leading producer of health and nutrition products. The multinational has its tentacles in various countries across the globe, including Ghana. The Thank You program brought together Nestle's distributors and wholesalers from all the 10 regions in Ghana. It was an opportunity for the company to recognize and reward its clients who contributed to the company's success in 2015. The managing director of Nestle Ghana, Mrs. Frida Duplan, commended the agents for their loyalty to the beverage maker.
To ensure that Nestle grows together with its distributors, we plan to continue the distributor management systems and performance grading modalities in 2016, and to include them as part of the annual reward scheme for our customers. We therefore urge you to continually leverage on the distributor management systems to improve and grow.
The national sales manager for Nestle Ghana, Fernando Chandana, mentioned that all around the world, the company attributes its 150th anniversary to the customers who have been loyal to the brands of Nestle over the years. Thomket Company Limited, one of Nestle's distributors in the Ashanti North, was adjudged the best national distributor of Nestle products and given 20,000 Ghana cedis for the prize. For the Accra West, Diamond Enterprise took the best national highest turnover award. It also received 20,000 Ghana cedis as prize. In God We Trust Enterprise in the Accra East received the first Milo, Nido and Cerelac Award. Some of the award winners spoke to GBC24.
I think it's by the grace of God and hard work. And I think I'll continue working hard and praying that I get the next award.
So excited. I'm so excited. I give thanks to God for helping me to achieve this great height.
To achieve this feat is by dint of hard work of my team, myself, proper management of our finances, and by God's grace.
Nestle can be found in 22 countries in Central and West Africa.
Opening the trading week, the cedi gained 2 pesos against the euro and maintained its value to the dollar. It, however, lost a peso against the pound sterling to sell at 5 cedis, 52 pesos. Coming up is the board. All 3 major commodities Ghana trades in on the international market dropped in price. Light crude dipped by $1.04, cocoa by $7 and gold by 70 cents. This segment was brought to you by Airtel, SIC and Ernest Chemist. Insurance news comes up shortly. To rescue smallholder farmers frequently exposed to crop failures and drought, the Ethiopian government has launched a national agriculture insurance that will cover 200,000 farmers this year. The head of Public Financial Enterprises Agency said the new insurance will make possible sustainable income for smallholder farmers by managing risk related to weather variation. The new insurance uses technology platforms and works with cooperatives and microfinance institutions near the farmers and serves as agents for the insurance corporation. The product is designed with due consideration of the literacy level of the farmers and made ready to be distributed in the most accessible manner. NDVI's crop insurance is based on the inputs the smallholder farmers spent to produce their crops. The farmers are expected to pay a premium of around 10% of the total cost of the inputs such as fertilizer, basic seeds, herbicides and pesticides they use in producing crops. And if that crop fails due to weather, the farmer will get total investment on inputs from the EIC. Studies show that currently an Ethiopian smallholder farmer spends 2,500 to 3,000 birr on average on inputs to grow crops in one season. That means a farmer who spends 3,000 birr or $141 for inputs is expected to pay 10% of this amount. The Indian state-run national insurance company, the country's third largest general insurer, says third-party losses under motor insurance may fall below 100% for the first time if insurers raise third-party premium by 25 to 30% from April following a proposal by the insurance regulator.
The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDAI, has proposed that third-party premium for commercial vehicles should be raised by 25 to 30%, whilst third-party premium for private cars with engine capacity not exceeding 1,000 cubic centimeters, such as Maruti Suzuki and Tata Nano, would be 30% more expensive. The IRDAI draft said third-party premium may rise from 10% to 15% for two-wheelers with an engine capacity below 35 cubic centimeters. Third-party motor insurance is mandatory for every vehicle owner. However, new chairman and managing director of Kolkata-based National Insurance, Sanat Kumar, in his first interaction with the media after assuming new responsibility, said the insurer would continue to suffer underwriting losses this fiscal year. He said that the company is expecting a modest 10 to 12% profit this fiscal year as the investment income has not grown substantially due to adverse market conditions.
The insurance news was brought to you by SIC Live. We have more news coming up shortly. Please do stay.
The health segment brought to you by FPAC. My name is Evans Achampon. The First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Mahama, says even as the government continues to invest in the health sector, the support of non-governmental organizations is needed to further enhance quality healthcare. Mrs. Mahama was speaking at separate debates held in her honor at Ampuma in Kintampo South and Chira in Sunyani West, both in the Bono Ahafo region. During the visit, Mrs. Mahama donated medical items to various health facilities. Theodora Amedeto reports.
The First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Mahama's first port of call was Ampuma in the Kintampo South district of the Bunahafo region. With a deep attachment to this little town, which is the birth and burial place of her late mother, Mrs. Mahama said the health status of the people in the area is paramount to her, hence her dedication to ensuring that the health facilities in the area are stocked with essential life-saving medical equipment. She donated a quantity of drugs, laptops and a refrigerator to the local chief's compound. Mrs. Mahama hoped the supplies would facilitate the delivery of quality health care to the people. The Germanhin Nana Okotri Dom was grateful for the gesture. He, however, appealed for improvement in some health and educational infrastructure in the area. Health facilities at Chira, a farming community in Sunyain West, also received medical supplies from the Lodina Foundation. Mrs. Mahama told the hospital authorities to use the items for the sole purpose of caring for the sick. She, however, reiterated her concern about activities and lifestyles that expose people to sicknesses and urged them to modify or do away with such practices.
Cleaning of our environment, ensuring that there is no stagnant water around the house, and healthy nutrition. Avoiding excess sugars and fat prevents us from falling sick. Let me thank our health workers across the country for the great work you are doing in helping to keep us alive.
According to the Chirahin Berima Minta Afari, the health facility in the area was built in 1973 to cater for 3,000 people at the time. The same health center is now catering for more than 27,000 people, according to the 2010 National Population and Housing Census. He said 6 years on, the population has increased further, and therefore there is the need to upgrade the health facility to at least a polyclinic status to cater for the growing numbers. The chief also pleaded for Chiramain to be made a district capital. Theodora Medeto, GBC24, Chira.
Now, the Institute of Applied Science and Technology has partnered the Technology Development and Transfer Center to liaise with the herbal medicine practitioners. The cooperation seeks to promote safe, efficacious, and affordable traditional medicine in Ghana.
Efforts to promote traditional medicine practice has become crucial as most people at some point in their life make use of natural remedy. Developing nations worldwide continue to rely heavily on plant medicine for their healthcare needs. Globally, there is a general recognition that medicine, once described as primitive, could promote health. The late Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, made efforts to promote traditional medicine practice by creating the Ghana Psychic and Traditional Healers Act in 1961. Aimed at upholding, promoting and protecting the best in psychic and traditional healing in Ghana. This was followed by the establishment of laws that regulate herbal medicine and the practice of traditional medicines. Most universities now have faculties that train medicinal herbalists in order to infuse professionalism into the practice of herbal medicine. At the stakeholders meeting held between academia and herbal practitioners at the University of Ghana, Legon, issues related to quality, safety, effectiveness, and standard herbal medicines were discussed. Dr. Nalamle Emisa from the Department of Crop Science at the University of Ghana took participants through research findings on the conservation of medicinal plants. She urged the herbal practitioners to harvest their plants from areas where plants have high concentration of active ingredients. They were also educated on plant species and their uses, as well as issues on intellectual property that pertain to their practice.
This platform is going to link industry to academia. So the herbal medicine, when they bring the problems, we're going to add graduates to help us solve them. So when they graduate after school, the industry can easily pick them on. Finally, we've established a link, and we're looking forward for them to come to us so that we'll start serious work on research.
The national organizer of the Federation of Traditional Medicine Practitioners Association, Nana Kwejo Obri, spoke to GBC24.
The Federation, in collaboration with the Traditional Medicine Practice Council, have set up a task force which will be inaugurated very soon. And they have been trained to look at this quackery issue. And then we are also trying to do a number of training workshops for practitioners to make sure that these things should be minimized. So I can assure Ghanaians that this time Traditional Medicine Practice Council is in full control in collaboration with the Federation, so quackery will definitely be minimized.
Plants have been used for medicinal purposes long before recorded history. Almost 1/4 of pharmaceutical drugs are derived from botanicals, where its seeds, berries, roots, leaves, barks, and flowers are also useful.
And that's all we have for you by way of health news. Brought to you by FPAC. The news continues in a moment. Do stay.
Welcome back. Some news around the world. Côte d'Ivoire has declared 3 days of national mourning, 24 hours, after gunmen attacked a beach resort in the West African country. The government has also announced new measures to reinforce security at schools and residences of heads of diplomatic missions, among other places. The announcement follows an emergency National Security Council and cabinet meeting held in the wake of Sunday's attack by Al-Qaeda militant on a beach resort in Grand Bassam. The official Twitter account for the Ivorian government says in French that security will now be reinforced at the country's borders. It has also updated the death toll from the attack to 15 civilians, 3 soldiers from the special forces, and 3 terrorists, with 33 people injured.
Turkey has begun security operations against Kurdish rebels in the country's southeast and in Iraq. The move comes as President Recep Tayyip Erdogan vowed a crackdown on terror after Sunday's attack in Ankara that left at least 37 people dead. Security sources said a suspected bomber who also died in the blast was a female member of the PKK. 4 people are being held over the bombing. A curfew was declared in 3 towns in southeast Turkey while warplanes struck PKK camps in the Iraqi Kurdistan. 11 warplanes carried out airstrikes on 15 targets, including ammunition dumps and shelters in the Kandil and Gara sectors. The PKK, the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, has confirmed the strikes.
Hundreds of migrants have crossed from Greece into Macedonia after finding a way through the border fence. Earlier, some 1,000 migrants, including children, left their sprawling camp in the Greek village of Indomeni and crossed a river near the border. Some 14,000 people have been stranded at the camp, where conditions have deteriorated following days of rains. Macedonia last week said it would no longer let any migrants in, blocking the so-called Balkan route north. In other development on Monday, Macedonia police say 2 men and 1 woman found drowned in the Suva River on Monday were migrants trying to enter the country from Greece. The UN Refugee Agency says 19 migrants have been placed in a shelter in Macedonia and 3 in hospital after crossing the river. That was the international news. We take a break, and when we come back, sports will be next. Stay.
Good evening. By kindness of AJPS, Tornado Bitters and Lonats, let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. The Youth and Sports Minister, Nilante van der Poel, says his outfit needs support of all stakeholders to develop sports in the country. Nilante van der Poel made the statement during his first interaction with members of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, SWAG, in Accra. The meeting between the Minister for Youth and Sport, Edwin Nilante van der Poel, and members of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, SWAG, was to strengthen the bond between the Youth and Sports Ministry and the sports journalist. The Sports Minister, Nilante van der Poel, used the occasion to brief members of the sports fraternity the true state of affairs of his outfit and how the members of SWAG can help in correctly projecting the real issues confronting sports development in the country.
I need your support in order to let people appreciate the difficulties we have. Our total budget for the year approved by Parliament is 22 million Ghana cedis. Out of this 22, 11 million is compensation, means salaries of workers, not only of the ministry, but of all the agencies under us, like the Sports College, the youth centers, and the National Sports Authority. 4 million is for goods and services. So what is left to undertake all sports programs in the year is only 7 million. The budget for the national teams alone is about 42 million Ghana cedis. We will need close to almost about about 26 million cedis for our Olympic team to go to Rio.
On his part, the president of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, SWAG, Mr. Kobna Ibua, promised to help in promoting sports development in the country.
On behalf of SWAG, I want to assure him that we will lend him the needed support because he's one of our own. His failure will be the failure of sports journalists in this country. His success will be the success of sports journalists in this country. So as we continue to offer him the needed support, wherever we believe that we need to draw his attention to obvious pitfalls, we would not share in that responsibility.
The interactive section had members of SWAG asking pertinent issues, bothering them and getting first-hand information. The meeting is expected to be bi-weekly. Bechem United head coach Stephen Kwame Opuni has attributed a size defeat at the hands of Accra folk to better fitness on the part of the Phobians. Coach Opuni hailed the Phobians for their overwhelming fitness. Hearts of Oak produced yet another impressive display to win 3-1 against visiting Bechem United. The Phobians started brightly, but Bechem held on till the 37th minute when striker Samuel Yeboah scored.
And it's to do, but of course, Hearts of Oak again will have this opportunity and they have to score, and eventually it comes out of nothing.
Hearts increased the tally through veteran Mustafa Isuman, whose drive deflected into the post in the 53rd minute. In the 67th minute, man of the match Isaac Mensah was on hand to connect Yeboah's rebound to make it 3-0 for Hearts.
Isaac Mensah makes it 3-0.
John Yameche fetched a consolation for Bechem United in the 80th minute to end the encounter by 3 goals to 1. Here are some reactions.
Yeah, it's really a good game for us, and we give thanks to Almighty God for giving us this victory. We are hoping we maintain our position.
As we have their leaders, they beat us. They are conditionally fit for the match.
I think our players did very well. All the credit should go to our players.
The result means Hearts have recorded their 3rd win in the Ghana Premier League after 4 games and have jumped to the top of the table with 10 points. Hearts will travel to Tema to face Interlights in their next game, whilst Bechem United, occupying the 8th position on the standings with 6 points, will host Ebusian Dwarfs at the Bechem Park on Matchday 5 next Sunday. Still staying with the Premiership, Wild Stars gain a point after holding Dreams FC to a 1-1 draw game at the Dew Park in one of the fixtures in the ongoing Ghana Premier League. Emmanuel Lomote fired Dreams up front in the 20th minute. Wahib Muni cancelled the lead with a standing free kick 12 minutes from the break. The results leaves both teams on 8 points, but All Stars have a better goal difference. Let's quickly bring you updates on results of other matches that were played at the Dew Park. Dreams FC 1-1, All Stars 1 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Has 3, Bechem United 1. Secondly, Hazakis 1, Ashgold 1, Obuasi New Edubias 0, Inter Allies 0, Brekum Chelsea 2, Kotoko 0, Dansoma Liberty 1, Techiman City 0, and Doma Adriana Stars 1, Wafa 0. Let's cross carpets now to the USA for some NBA action, where Atlanta Hawks return to winning ways with a 104-75 victory over the Indiana Pacers on Sunday night. The results places the Hawks ahead of the Pacers for the number 6 spot in the Eastern Conference. That's all for sports.
Hello, good evening. Time for some art news. My name is Valerie Danso. Being together for a year, gospel music group Crossover say they are geared up with unique, inspirational and motivational songs to pep up the gospel music industry. They were guests on our showbiz segment here on GBC24.
And so everything, there must be a testimony. So I believe that when you're about to sing, there should be a testimony. There should be something to prove.
Next up are some news bits making the rounds.
President John Mahama has expressed his condolence to the family of the late comedian Bobo Kala, who passed away on Sunday, the 13th of March 2016. President Mahama in a tweet said, quote, "Rest in peace, Bobo Kala. You brought joy to many homes and, of course, to Lordina and I. Hashtag rest in peace, Bobo Kala," unquote.
That's all in this segment.
And thank you so much for joining us for the news. But before we go, let's take another look at the stories that made the headlines. Ghanaians have been advised to be preventative rather than reactive. This is to ensure that people are prepared for any eventuality and are able to deal with such situations. The Minister for the Interior, Mr. Prosper Bani, shared these sentiments when he led a team of officials on a tour of some flood-prone areas in the city.
And Côte d'Ivoire has declared 3 days of national mourning, 24 hours, after gunmen attacked a beach resort in the West African country. The government has also announced new measures to reinforce security at schools and the residences of the heads of diplomatic missions, among other places. Thank you for watching News Hour. News Tonight comes at 10:30. Make a date with us if you can. Till then, bye for now.